Work out the value of 2 to the power 4. Well, the power represents how many times you're at the base. In this case, I'm going to write 2 out 4 times. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 gives you 16. Write the following correct to 3 decimal places. Well, decimal places means you count from the decimal point. So 3 decimal places, the first 3 digits after decimal. So 1, 2, 3. As I round to 3, now stop. Draw a line to the right. That's called my decider. If my decider is 5 or more, which in this case is, I round the previous digit up by 1. Hence, my final answer to 3 decimal places can be 7.265. When simplifying, we start by multiplying the numbers. Here, 7 times 8 gives us 56. If we're multiplying letters and they're different, they just go next to each other in alphabetical order. So 56 EF. Solve means to work out. In this case, I'm working out the value of x. As I've got x over 5 equals 2.5, I'm going to start by leaving x over 5 alone. On the right hand side, 2.5 as a decimal, that's the same as 2.5. As I want to get the value of x, the opposite divide by 5 is to multiply the right hand side, whatever's on the top, by 5. On the left hand side, I'm just going to be left with x. And on the right hand side, 5 multiplied by 2.5 will give us 12.5. Write 4/5 as a percentage. We know percent means out of 100. Look at my fraction. I currently have 4 over 5. What do I need to do to the denominator to make the denominator to be out of 100? Well, I times 5 by 20, because I know 5 times 20 will give us 100. Whatever you do to the bottom, do the same to the top to keep it equivalent. And 4 times 20 gives us 80. Now it's out of 100. My percentage, just read off the number on the top. Hence, 4 over 5 as a percentage is 80%. Work out 60% of 70. Well, we know percent means out of 100. So 100% represents our original number, in this case, 70. As I want to find 60%, one way is I can find 10%. What divide 100 by to get down to 10? Well, I divide by 10. Whatever you do to the left, you do the same to the right. Hence, you divide the right hand side by 10. 70 divided by 10 will give us 7. So 10% is 7. As I want to get to 60%, what are times 10% to get to 60%? Well, I just times it by 6. Whatever you do to the left-hand side, you do the same to the right to keep it equivalent. And 7 times 6 will give us 42. Sammy spins a fair 4-sided spinner. On the probability scale, mark where across the probability the spinner will land on B. As it's fair, each side has an equal chance. How many sides have B on it? In this case, I've got 1, 2 out of 4 possibilities. So the chance of successful landing on B is 2 over 4. And 2 over 4 will simplify to give us a half. On the probability scale, mark where across the probability the spinner will land on F. As no side has letter F, therefore it's impossible. Therefore it's 0. Fahima buys the following. She pays with a £10 note and she gets 30p change. So first I'm going to work out how much she spent. In this case, it's going to be £10, subtract the 30p change she gets. The total cost of her bill came to £9.70. We know she bought 2 packets of bread, each costing £1.50 each. So therefore I'm going to do 2 times £1.50, which will give us £3. We know she bought 1 bottle of ketchup for £1.60. So we're going to have £1.60 once. And she bought 3 packages of sausages, which we don't know. So adding up my total costs, well, the bread rolls and the ketchup, that's going to be £3 plus £1.60. Always starting on our right. 6 add 0 is just simply 6. Get your decimal point fixed. 3 add 1 is 4. So she spent so far £4.60. We know in total she spent £9.70. So I'm going to do my £9.70. Subtract the cost of the 2 packets of bread and the bottle of ketchup. Always starting on our right. 0 takes 0 is still 0. 7 subtract 6 is 1. Keep decimal point fixed. 9 subtract 4 gives us 5. So the £5.10 is the amount of money she spent on sausages. As she bought 3 packs, in total it came to £5.10. So to work out 1 pack of sausages, I'm going to divide my total cost of sausages, £5.10, divide by, in this case, 3, because you bought 3 packets, to work out the price of 1. How many times does 3 divide into 5? Well, it goes in once, because 3 times 1 is 3. As I had 5, the remainder is 2. Always keep decimal point fixed. 3 divided to 21, 7 times. So therefore, each packet of sausages costs £1.70. Well, Fahima works out that 1 packet of sausages costs £2.30. Is Fahima correct? Well, in this case, no. adds each packet of sausages to £1.70. Work out 5/8 multiplied by 3/4. We're multiplying fractions. I just multiply the tops and multiply the bottom separately. On the top, 5 times 3 gives us 15. And on the bottom, 8 times 4 gives us 32. Work out 2/3, subtract a quarter. When adding or subtracting fractions, we must have a common denominator. The lowest common multiple, the first number that appears in the 3 and 4 times table, in this case is 12. So I want each denominator to be out of 12. Look at my first fraction. What have I times 3 on the bottom to get out to 12? I've times it by 4. Hence, you must do the same to the top to keep it equivalent. And 2 times 4 gives us 8. Look at my second fraction. What have I times 4 on the bottom to get to 12? I've times it by 3. Hence, you must do the same to the top to keep it equivalent. And 1 times 3 gives us 3. Now that I've got a common denominator, they're both out of 12. I'll leave the denominator the same, in this case 12, and just do exactly what it says on the top. In this case, 8 subtract 3 gives us 5.